see here. That's a preview. And then this is, okay. So this is where the update happens with assessments. So if you go to like the assessments template, you click on edit right here, this pencil, you can go down to schedule and trigger. So this is where you have a time configuration. So right now, he set, this assessment, this mood assessment can be done anytime between 2 a.m. and 2 p.m. If we wanted to specifically set an assessment specific time, we can set a preferred window. So we can say, you know what, instead of from 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. when this assessment is available, I'm going to set it to 8 a.m. to 12, right? And then you can save that preferred one, right? And so when you save that preferred one, it essentially shows up as a green, right? So basically, like right now, like depending on if it's an evening time. So if you see all these are evenings, if it's an AM assessment, if it's within the 8 to 12 preferred time, it'll be green. But if it is set to like 2 a.m. to 2 p.m., it would be transparent. It'll still be available, but it's not green to indicate that it's within the time that you want to get it at. And then if it's going to be expiring 1 hour before that assessment expires, it's going to be an amber color, right? So it says, hey, as a user, you better hurry up and get this assessment done before it expires. And then once the assessment expires for that day, it's gone, right? So if you miss the AM assessment, and then you like show up at like 3 p.m. and log in to like, look who didn't do anything, it's not going to be there. So it really kind of forces people to like take the assessment during the preferred time and a lot of time. So yes, yeah. So under like this assessment management, we can set the time to different times. So we can say, preferred time 8 to 12. So it'll pop up as green between 8 to 12, or we can turn it off, right? Or we can set this schedule, the overall like 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. daytime or evening one. We can edit this. We can take away, we can delete it, we can add it. And then there's also like a minimum in between time. So basically, you can't do an AM and PM assessment back to back. You can't just log in like, oh, hey, you know what? It doesn't like, I can do the AM, PM within 15 minutes apart because I'll do it before noon and I'll do it right after noon. We won't allow that. We can change it to there has to be a minimum in between. So yeah. So a lot of kind of work putting into this, like time slot management is something that we can do. So yeah. So it feels a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but it's an additional feature that we can put in just to help provide like a color code for users. Green means good to go, take it within this allotted time. Amber means it's going to be expiring soon within like an hour. And then it can be transparent too if it's outside the preferred time, but hasn't expired yet, right? So yeah, so I haven't seen the example of it yet. We could try to create one. But Mark said that that's kind of the color code now. Green means preferred time. Transparent means outside preferred time, but still within a long time to get it done. Amber, 1 hour before it expires, and then once it expires, it's gone from this assessment. Yeah, so once you do an assessment, it's gone, right? So once we completed this one, then it's gone. Then the patient gets expired. So you can go active. Yeah. Okay. So under assessments too, you can see this little tab right here on the side of the name. It's the sticky note, right? Exactly. It's a sticky note. So you can view the sticky note from here. There's a few places that you can access the sticky note. One is assessments. one is safety checks, and then the other would be patient management. Those are the three locations you can see a sticky note. Um, so if we go to safety checks, someone says, okay, and we can click in, you can click where they're at, and then you can put in a sticky note. So actually, we'll just do a new one. So for instance, this third person here, we'll say they're in group therapy, and then we can put in an activity note, and so we can timestamp it, right? So like at 4:48 p.m., patient was arguing with a staff member, um, was irritable. So there is a like 122 character limit on here. We're trying to make it a little bit short, like a post-it note, right? And then you can click persistent or not persistent. So persistent means it's locked in as a note in their chart until someone says, hey, no, like we don't have to worry about it anymore. The reason why we add this is so from a staff member standpoint, if they're doing shift changes from AM to PM, right? Not everything might be put into the sign off. They might not even have a like in-person sign off, right? So they're basically covering like each other's patients and they don't know anything about them that day, right? And so this gives them a chance to say, hey, this is going to stay on board until someone says it's okay not to have it, right? So if we say record, boom, right here, you can see this highlighted note. You can click on view notes, and then you can also pin it. So you can pin it, meaning that it stays on there as persistent, right? Or you can unpin it and it's not persistent. I think all notes from what Mark was telling me, there's a set time on when it expires. I think it expires every every couple hours. Let me double check. I think there's an expiration to the post-it note. I think it's like 4 hours maybe until it expires. So it's like for maybe that shift. I think we'll have to clarify with Mark again how long it stays. But if you click on persistent, it stays on their chart the whole time until maybe if someone shows up later in the day or tomorrow and like, you know what, this person's not irritable anymore, we can click it off. It still stays within the record, but it doesn't yeah, it won't pop up otherwise. Yeah, so this one we can look and see this one's also persistent. This one, they have two persistent notes. This one was unable to locate, right? So I can take this off and you can see there's like test notes that have already like been expired. So if this person doesn't have, yeah, so if this person doesn't have any notes anymore, well, actually this one stays on. Yeah, so it hasn't expired yet. But once it expires, I'm guessing that it'll come off and there won't be a post-it note next to the name anymore. That'll be good for me to double check with Mark. Yeah, yeah. So I'll make a note. Post-it notes. Let me click on these other ones. Okay, yeah. So actually, if they've already expired, but there was a pass note, so this was on the 16th. So there was a post-it note on here, but expired already, and it doesn't show up. So I think if the patient has one like within that shift, or maybe within like 24 hours or 12 hours, it'll pop up on here. But after it expires and there's no more like activity that's needed, then it won't show up. Okay. So actually, I think potential for this is we could track people's behaviors over the course of time, correlated with their mood assessment, um, and be able to kind of look at it from a big picture standpoint and saying, hey, like, can we like anticipate someone having like a disruptive incident if they're continuously having these like post-it notes on there, so something to think about. I think that it would be very helpful to maybe predict potential issues during someone's hospitalization, um, and it won't be recorded in their point click care chart. It would just be kind of noted here as a sticky note, right? Yeah. Um, and then one thing that Mark wanted to get some feedback on is if you can see, like, if someone's overdue on their check, this whole bar is red, right? But sometimes seeing like the observation level, 15 minutes, 60 minutes in the sitter, the color code might not be the best user like interface, like the coloring of it. So like the blue stands out. I think 60-minute checks, that's fine. But I think the question is, should we just change the 15-minute check also to a different color so it's not red on red? Because I do like the fact that this whole bar is highlighted if they're missing a check, right? So that it says, hey, this person's overdue. Make sure you check on, like, make sure you know where they're at and check in on their status. Um, I don't love the red 15-minute checks just because I think red, we usually use it as a more like alert kind of color. If it's just general 15-minute checks, we could literally change it to any other color and it should be better. Any opinions on the UI, on the user interface for this? Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Um, but yeah, I think yeah. Any questions so far? No, no. So yeah, so let me double check on